Hello everyone, I am the HalfWit Brit and this is Manor Lords. In the last episode we had some fun, and not only did we defend the territory you're currently looking at, the Black Forest, we also managed to take one of the territories of the Baron, and what fun that was for me. I mean, to be fair, it was a little bit too easy, let's say. I am aware that the difficulty of the game can be increased, but I was expecting a little bit more, let's say. That being said, we only have one territory left to go for, and from what I hear, it sounds like the Baron is saving the best till last, and I'm absolutely looking forward to that. I have a good feeling that we're going to lose, but I think it shall be fun nonetheless. So just kind of where we're at the moment, I'm just lingering over some fields in the Black Forest. We are in October, and as you can see, some of the fields are still being planted over here. Now, a lot of this issue is because we pulled out the men for the battles, so we kind of left not a lot of people doing the jobs that they should be doing. Okay, as I was mid-conversation there, I had some weird glitch, so I don't know if it cut off what I was saying. I won't know until I'm editing the video. But yeah, so some of these fields are definitely not where they should be currently. Now, the ones that look really well grown for this time of the year, they were fields from last year that we didn't manage to plant in time. But as you can see from the plague of locusts that are the farmers, they are running around and trying their best to sow all the seed that they can. So hopefully we will get some growth over here, and that's exactly what we'll need. That being said, I'm constantly getting a plethora of kind of issues like granary full and eating stalls and things like that. It's not necessarily that they'll need. So is it the Black Forest that needed a stall, for example? Oh, it's the Iron Vale. I think for the most part we're probably okay over here stall wise. Yeah, I mean, not a million miles off, so... Aha, I found out what the issue was. My antivirus decided to do an update, wonderful stuff. And that's just completely messing around with my recording. Okay, that explains it. Hopefully I'll fix all that rubbish in post. So let's unpause the game and see where we're at. We are processing some of the grain into flour. Let's switch this to total goods. I prefer that. I'm hoping there's a way of making that default. I like to see not my surplus, just what I have in total. Wow. Okay, we have almost 1,000 wheat to process. We have about 400 barley. That's not too bad. And we look where we are over here. We have 1,000 flour. Yeah, bread's going to be a bit of a crazy one. Yeah. Oh my goodness, almost 6,000 bread. Does anybody need bread? As I think I said in the last episode, I wish you could like make apple pies and stuff like that, and maybe from the developer's point of view it might be what's the point, but maybe we could get to a point where, say, an apple pie is worth 2 food instead of 1, because or maybe 3. So this kind of it makes more sense to make an apple pie than just sell apples and just sell bread, because it kind of satiates your villagers just a little bit more for that little bit of extra work. But based on some of the stuff I've read from him, he kind of looks at it from the point of view, what's the point sometimes? And I get that, you don't want to bloat your game with unnecessary things, so it sort of makes a lot of sense. What are we doing over here? We're 100% on the marketplace over here too. Okay, that's all good. I'm just thinking about bread, clearly, because we have so much. Now, this is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. So every single trading post within a region all acts exactly the same. Realistically, I'd want one at the moment that is just solely dealing in bread. In fact, you know what, because we have so much of it, I'm willing to pay for a route to try and trade some out, because we just have that much of it. I'll leave it on full trade because we're never going to get to a point, I doubt, where it's less than this and we try to buy bread in. But yeah, it's an absolute absurd amount of bread. And obviously I could maybe go a season without actually growing some crops and just leave a whole load of fields just completely fallow. In fact, I may do that next year, and just focus on barley. We don't really need flax either, do we? Well, we got linen 94, but that being said, how many gambesons have we got? 375. So yeah, maybe we'll do a season of flax and just leave next year. I mean, these are all planted now anyway, probably. Yes, they are. Because we just got too much. And to say we have, what was it, 1,000 flour or something like that? Yeah, 1,000 flour and another 1,000 flour on its way in. So Yeah, we may do that. Anyway, I've been gassing for a few minutes, so what is the plan for today? Well, I'm actually in the wrong region. Oh, actually, while we're here, I did suggest that these guys come and do over here, and they've managed to do those pretty much, so that's pretty good. I thought because they're quite large fields and it's just one farm, this is Mamusio, by the way, that they wouldn't actually get it done, and they're based over here somewhere, the farm. But we have two things to take care of today. So we got Raystone. We're going to continue developing this little settlement. I'm quite happy with this. And then we also have, I'm looking at the map the wrong way around. We got Penultima that we also need to deal with. And that will leave just this last region. So the main thing we need here now is the retinue. And that's sort of what we're going to work towards. Before I start doing this, and I don't like the idea of doing it in winter, because I want to be at a point where, albeit there's 128 berries here now, I want to be around the time when they start to grow, so we won't kind of touch that straight away, but we will take a look over in Raystone and just see where we're up to. I think the hunters are walking a little bit too far, and I want to try something out. What happens if you exhaust a patch of animals? Will this zone completely disappear? And you're thinking, why would you want to do that? Well, currently the wild animals are off the map somewhere, so we don't particularly have many spare people. But oh, the tavern is complete. That is good. Let's put this hunting limit to 0. I want to see how low that will go. Maybe I need another hunting camp to, may do the job. Okay, we have a tavern, but we currently don't have any ale. I think we upgraded this in the last one, so we can make that one a... Did I just click the right? I think I did. I thought I clicked bakery, but we don't have the option to that. And I asked for the next point, where should we put it? And this... I love it when there's a good debate around something in the chat. And charcoal burning is kind of Marmite or Vegemite. I don't know what it's called in America, or even if you do it. But it's one of those things, you either love it or hate it. Some people say it's a waste of time. Some people think that it's actually worth it in the long run. But I guess for this region, we're not producing lots and lots of stuff. I think we'll be quite happy just chopping down some trees and replanting them. So plough seems to be the general consensus. And to be fair, if I am going to be putting lots of fields in the long run, that probably does make sense. How are we doing here? That is planted. See, some of these are quite well grown already. We have some rye over here as well, which is a new thing for us. That's something we generally do, but we have the point, and just look at that beautiful green. We have so many options, and the good thing about this is it doesn't restrict where you build, so that is something to look forward to. Right, speaking of building, let's get some done. As you can see, we're kind of overflowing in the Black Forest. The problem being with the amount of fields we have, if I build more burgage plots to get more people in, we're just going to need more food, albeit we have lots of food over there anyway. But I'm not overly fussed. It's not optimized the way I'd like it to be, but things are working, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep. As for the 2 burgage plots here, I do want some wealth for the for the orchards, and that will give us another type of food. I think there's some grumblings over here well, we have 3 types of food now. Tavern will tick that box shortly, and then clothing. Did we have any flax over here? Next harvest. Okay, so what do we have currently? We have leather. Our little lambs over here will not be producing anything, so are they all lambs? I don't know how long these take to grow. I'm guessing a year or so, so we probably won't see anything off them as it stands. And let's just double check our resources. Do we have any wool? No. Okay, so that is a subtle problem. I don't think there's much we can do about that. What can we do with leather? We could make shoes. So we could have a cobbler, and that would give us an additional thing. So let me think here. We don't really have the points, the money to do it, I don't think. How much is a cobbler? Okay, so it's only 5. Oh, burgage plot level too low. Brewery. Do you know what? Let's think. I might put some more burgage plots in. We may do that. I was going to upgrade all of these here, but I want this to be more rural, so I don't want to go too sort of industrial with it. So we have this bit of land here, and I think I spoke about putting some burgage plots here before, but considering some of these buildings here will probably end up being production sort of buildings, I think we can draw like a smiley face across the terrain there, and we'll try and fill up this entire area. There we go. How does that look? Do I want to reduce that, or do I want to add more? I think that's probably about fine. And we're doing a cobbler's, so I'll probably do this one first. I was just trying to think if it had a back garden. I think it did. So we'll try and get that one built first. Do we have people in the saw pit? No. How we got 46 planks, 32 timber, quite a few logs as it stands. Where is... There we are. I was going to say, where's the forester's hut? Just look amongst the trees. There's definitely 2 people in there, and they're managing this area quite well. The woodcutter's lodge. Oh, we've got plenty of fuel. I'll just leave them be. They're not causing us any issues. But I think in the long run, I probably need a couple of forester's huts, and we can probably do a managed forest, because you're not constantly chopping down trees for buildings, but you are constantly making firewood. So this area, maybe more towards this way, will be sort of like a managed forest for sure. So what else do we need over here? We have the weaver's workshop, which we won't need just yet. We have the clay furnace, which we could use. In fact, we're not doing anything with these fields, so I can take all these people out of here. We need to keep an eye out for the snow, because obviously we need to take people out the farms in the Black Forest. The windmill here looks like... Are we done? We have no grain yet, so we don't need anybody in there. That's awesome. Communal oven. Flour, we have 86, so I'll chuck an additional family in there just to help them out. There's nothing else going on over there. How are we for clay? Do we have any? We have no clay. Okay, so we can't do anything with that either. We will need... Oh, the brewery is up and running. Awesome. Wait, does that say we have malts? Did I see that correctly? We do have... Have they done that already? Wow, that was quick. So that... Oh yeah, we already had the malt house. Where it's here somewhere. There we go. So they've been doing that quite diligently. What do we have left? We have 95. So for the moment, I'll put another family in there. It makes a bit of sense. This will then come over here and cheer them up, which means we need a family there. That leaves me with 6 families currently. I think... How are we doing for tiles? We have 76. I know we can sell that, so it is something to trade out. I don't want to trade stuff in if I can help it. I don't mind exporting, but I said this previously, I want to keep this area kind of as solitary as possible. But in keeping in mind what I was just talking about, I think we'll get another forester's hut in here. So we got this one, and we can see what they've done so far. I'm going to build a wall around the manor here, so I don't want to put too many trees that direction. Potentially, I might even move this one, but we're going to uproot some trees potentially. No, actually, we're going to get away with it. We'll put one in there, and we'll just do a nice straight road to there. 17. Let's go for as well another hunting camp. We'll put this a little bit closer, and we'll just hook that up. I want to see if we can completely clear the wild animals. We can move this as well, can't we? Yeah. So we'll put you over there as well, which just gives our builders a little bit more to do. Wonderful. We should have enough people. We have quite a few ox, don't we? So what are we at? We're at 4. 1 is probably assigned to the logging camp. Let's have a look. Livestock. Oh no, nothing is assigned. That's perfectly fine. Albeit 1 will get used, obviously. But that should speed up these buildings pretty quickly. And as you can see, that is the case. We were going to put a cobbler's in here, weren't we? Eventually, if the only thing you can use there is leather. I don't know if you can hear that NPC. It's like you read my mind. Leather, perfect for boots and belts, exactly. Once the animals are kind of either out of range off the map, or even if we manage to exhaust it and then that's that. We've obviously got goats. I could put some more goat farms in. Potentially the ones next door to the cobblers, apart from ones that have, say, a bigger back garden. We might put something else there. It's just something to think about. Just kind of slowly but surely keep a good amount of resources going into that. So what else do we need to build? We don't have an apiary. We can't do that. And where are we looking? So we need some level 3 burgage plots. Now, we're going to struggle slightly for that as it stands. So from a food point of view, we do have 3 different types. Veggies are coming through slowly. Obviously, apples will be a thing, and eggs very slowly. So we'll get there. But the cobbler is going to be the one. I think that sort of gets us to that point where we need to be. Just thinking about obviously keeping these people happy as well. Yeah, we only have leather, so that's part of a problem. Fuel is where it is, sort of thing. So there is 3 types of fuel. I could use some of these spare families that we have now. Just to... We've already got 3 in there. Just to hopefully get some additional stalls in here. There we go. Another food stall is already coming in. We have a clothing stall that is abandoned. I don't know if... Let me just speed it up a touch. Are we just going to get the one marketplace? That's interesting. Maybe one of these was abandoned and one of the families that I've just assigned has gone and took over. But that hopefully will make things work a little bit better. I could put an extra family in there too. That will probably give us a firewood stall, I'm guessing. Yep, there we go. Called it. And that makes sense because the fuel number was lower. And what else? You know what? I'm just gonna keep spare families in these. To be fair, I could fill them all the way up, couldn't I? Par 1. And that'll just keep things moving around. Obviously, when the season changes, I've got to be... there is some berry over there that I need to think about. We will have some veggies coming across. Make sure, yep, this family isn't controlling that. They're keeping to what they should be doing. And how are we going on here? Look, we have some ale. Perfect. Has it made its way here yet? No. I'm assuming at some point we will see somebody rolling a barrel. There we go. It's like I can predict the future today. So she hasn't got very far to roll that. Now there's no back door to the tavern, so will she have to roll it all the way around the front? It looks that way. There's no other way in. But at least she's not carrying it. See, this guy here is carrying a tiny wicker basket, and this poor lady is rolling a huge barrel. It's just not right, is it? It's not good at all. And Raystone has done a clothing stall. There we go. So yeah, fuel's now 100%. Food, it's the veggies, isn't it? I think this is our only vegetable garden currently. How are we looking over here? Yeah, so that's just going to be a small issue, but we will get there pretty quickly. The main thing we need is... well, we need to upgrade this plot, and then we need the money to do so. So we've got a little bit of money because we have a few level 2s. Maybe I should be looking at upgrading a few more plots to level 2. What do we have over here? So currently they've got nothing going on in the back gardens over here. Most of these I'm probably going to keep sort of working this area, but having higher level ones would definitely help. So we're having issues with different food varieties. We can make you a level 2. And we can't here. Now, I'd be tempted, if we have the points to do so, which we don't, would start to get eggs in some of these because their gardens are not very big. And it just kind of in keeping with the farming, I suppose. And their gardens are not big enough for vegetables, that's for sure. Well, here's an interesting thing. So I've just replaced a few of the retinue for the Black Forest. And we can see we have 17 plate armor and the cost is 12 and 24. I'm currently in Raystone. What will happen, let me unpause the game, if I head across to the Black Forest and do the same thing now, let's see. It will be, where are we? This one. So we'll click on customization. Oh, so it's still cheap. I have no clue why that is. It was really expensive last time I looked, but I'm more than happy to take the cheaper armor. There we go. Wait a minute. Oh, have these not all got... wow. Okay, that's interesting. I thought all these guys had the maximum armor. Well, that goes to show. I think I didn't do it last time because it would have been so expensive to do so. So my retinue in the Black Forest was clearly It probably explains why we lost a few of them, actually. But they weren't fully armoured, so I've got none left, but I can afford the cost of just paying, what was it, 24? Yeah. That's absolutely nothing at all. We can do that. And it makes me think maybe I should double check all my other retinue before I move on. Okay, I went through all of the other retinue. So Mamusio and the Black Forest was the only one that didn't have complete sets of plate armor. So I was just, as I was upgrading all those, I was just thinking to myself, how has that happened considering how expensive it was before? And the only thing that I can think of initially, because as far as I'm aware there's been no patches, is that the first retinue that I opened was the Black Forest, but I was in a different region. So I wonder if because I've kind of speculated this before, whether it's to do with the region size, how much you pay. But because I was in a smaller region, it's then dictated the cost of the retinue across the board. Until I obviously save the game, come back in and open it again. I mean, I could do that right now and figure it out, but in fact, I can't do that when I think about it, because I've upgraded them all, so it won't happen. How are we doing for apples over in Mamusio? Probably ridiculous numbers. We're showing Raystone for some reason. And you show me Mamusio. That will do. It may be grass, but it will 2.6k. Not quite as much as we had bread, but still pretty impressive. Like I said before, we will penultimate. We will do this, but I want to get past winter first. A lot of these houses that I've placed are now starting to build up. Lovely. We're having this issue here, which is slowing us down, and a little bit of cash. Now, I guess, I mean, tax is going to take money from the people and put into the treasury, so that's not the option. Now, we could trade. Like I said, I could sell things out, so probably the main thing we can sell at the moment is going to be roof tiles. So potentially I could focus on that, but I think by the time all these buildings are complete, we'll have a little bit more money in the coffers. Okay, we have 33. The problem is we still can't deal with this over here at the moment, but it does allow for chickens. So while we have that money, we have a level 2 here, we will put in a chicken coop. There we go. So that hopefully will give us a little bit more food. How are these ones doing over here? You've got a fuel issue. You've got a fuel issue. Okay, why is that? Do we not have a lot of fuel? We have 467. We have 24 months of fuel. Okay, they're just being pedantic. I'm guessing that will sort of fix itself as well. And as the first snow is probably due anytime soon, let's have a quick look. It appears to me that they've managed to actually plant all the fields. You got a weird glitch going on that field, but I would say they've managed to do it. Okay, so I can probably unassign most of these people. I'll leave one family in here just because they've got some grain to work through. And what about these? Yeah, about the same. And then I can reassign these people, I think, into trade posts, because the more people we've got moving goods around, the quicker things should happen. There's no one in that farmhouse, so it already took people out of there. That's kind of interesting. Maybe I never had anybody in it in the first place, which would have stretched their resources a little bit more, but they've still managed to do everything anyway. And we'll get you in there. That's one. Okay, windmill. So we'll max the windmills at the moment. Pantries are being full. It's mostly the bakers. Obviously, they've got stupid amounts of resources. We've got plenty of ale as well. So just, I think what we'll do, I think all of these places should have horses as well. We're still waiting for a horse. Are we? I bet you were probably still trading, still trading them in. Yeah, at least they've got one horse. That is something. So I will top these off because it just makes sense to. Hopefully we can trade out a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure they take stuff as well as bring things back. So wherever they're going. Yeah, I almost want to just sit them on export and just send everything out. Because the amount of bread is, yeah, 6,000 bread. It's just nuts. And there is the snow that I mentioned not too long ago. And we're not doing too bad financially over here. What I would be interested in, actually. The Iron Vale always struggles for ale, which is still the case. and they sometimes struggle for food. But they have 1.3k bread. Now, is that because they are buying bread in? And when I say that, they're taking it from an external source. Let's have a look. Oh no, that is just actually being traded in. And we do have a merchant as well, but we're not doing foreign trades. Okay, so they're doing fine with that now. What else was I going to look at? Ale. We're still trying to import that, but we're seemingly not getting enough of that from. We'll leave that on full trade. I don't think it makes a difference either way, to be fair. But we're definitely not getting enough. So we had, no, not a livestock. Where is it? It was down here. Aha. These are the guys that was, there we go. So maybe if we ask these guys to do some ale as well. The only downside to doing full trade like I've just done is the fact that we could potentially start selling ale externally, but this is probably where the bread has come from. So was it helmets I think we were trading for? So if they have a lot of helmets over here, which they indeed do, that explains how that bread has made it over there quite easily. Are we trading the helmets out? We were on full trade. We do have a route, so they are being sold. Okay, that is good. At least we know what's happening there. And how are we getting on with houses over here? These are all built, all empty as well, which explains some of this stuff not working. We did build ourselves. Okay, they are in the process of being built. So we've only got one family spare. That's probably why that's not happening very quickly. Do we have any ale? Well, we should have had a barrel that went in there. But the tavern supply isn't showing yet. So let's have a quick save, should I say? There we go. And where are we looking? We have 2 ale available currently. Okay. So it is slowly but surely making its way through. I've just been sat here watching a Raystone and watching everybody go about their business. And as families move in, they seem to move into buildings in order of kind of build order. So these are the last 2 buildings that receive somebody. So I'm going to venture a guess that these won't receive a family until this one has got one. So even though I want a family here, it kind of appears like they'll go in the build order basically. So I'm going to watch and see what actually happens. And I was right in what I sort of assumed, that they seem to fill houses in a very specific order. So in order that the houses were built. At least that's the way it seems to appear at the moment. What a lovely view. But we are now in March, which means the berries are growing, which then means we have to come back over here and make sure everything is working as it should be. But then we have penultima. Now is the time to sort of think about where we are going to build. So we have berries, we have potentially wild animals, because we all know they love to run off. So where is the water? Perfect, it's in the same place. We have obviously iron if we so choose to use it. From a fertility point of view, Emma looks absolutely disgusting. There's a few patches, which makes me think that flax, yep, that's also rubbish. Barley is rubbish, and rye, even rye is quite bad now. That is unusual. I mean, there is space for it, but damn, that is pretty bad. Now, the good thing is they are next to the Black Forest. So I could potentially create stuff to trade over to them and then bring bread in. We do have that. I don't think this region has as much hope of being self-sufficient as Rayston. So, yeah, let's think about this. So we're going to put a settlers camp in. The water was around here. It's a very hilly sort of area, to be fair, and the berries, there's quite a few bushes there we can see. So where is the best place to build? This is a bit of a sort of an awkward piece of land. I want to be close to the berries but not too close. I'm thinking somewhere here, which will mean we will wipe out some of the trees, but from what I can see, I'm just sort of looking at the contour lines, it looks relatively flat. And as always, we'll go plentiful. So let's pause the game a second. While the trees are still completely surrounding this area, let's get some roads in. So we have some lovely King's Roads here. Now, the camp is here. I'm just looking at this nice valley. So I might kind of build along here, which means we're going to lose some trees, but it should be okay. we should be fine. And I can't quite see where the berries are, so we'll do the old trick of putting a farm field down so we can see. I know they're roughly in this area. I can't see them 100%. Now I can. There we go. So we know exactly where they are. We're not going to destroy them in any way, which will allow me to get my burgage plots in for my 5 families. Do I? Yeah, I'm going to build it right along here. I don't want to go too crazy. And we don't want to connect. How do you turn off snapping? Is that going to do it, or is that just snapping? No, that just snaps to roads. So that's slightly, what was it? Hold shift, control, alt, nothing. Okay, guess we're going for some slightly smaller. Actually, they're not that small when I look at it. We'll do that. We don't need that many, obviously. 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the option then of extending. That is perfect, and that cost us 10, I believe. Yep, okay, so we can do that. We will also need a well, which, perfect, the water runs right through, so we'll just connect that straight to the King's Road. What else do we need? We need the granary, obviously. Ooh, is this another save coming through? Yep. And we will probably try and run a road just along the back here. Just got to keep an eye on what's going on in Raystone, because I don't want that falling apart while I'm over here. Most of the other regions will pretty much just look after themselves at this point. That could potentially be a burgage plot. I don't know if we'll manage to fit one in there. Let me unpause the game. So whereabouts did I put my tent? Okay, so they're not too far away. And we will, yeah, we'll get a high priority on all of these first. We'll get them up and running, because I don't want them being unhappy, or at least not too much from the get-go. And then what else do we need? We will, oh, berries, that only cost 1, but then we're going to need, so what have we got left? Let's show surplus in this case, so 13. So what can we do with that? So they take 2, that's 4. Where's the berries? Was that 1? That was 5. What else do we need? Woodcutter we will need, that's 6, 7, 8. It's okay, we've got plenty. I am tempted to put the logging camp in first, though. I might kind of put that, I might actually hook that up to the King's Road here. We can get it in there, yeah, because we got the trees on the opposite side as well. And we will run a road, I think, straight across. That will work nicely. And we'll put that on a high priority. What else do we need? We need the granary, which, to be fair, at this stage here feels like a fantastic place. We do have the animals for the moment until they, you know, naturally just wander off. So we'll get that. And we'll put that on highest as well, because it's not like we're not going to be able to do it. And the storehouse, we don't store timber, do we? But we will store firewood and things like that. So I'm guessing for this one, I may actually hook up to this road here, because we will be doing firewood over here. I don't know what other goods we'll produce necessarily, but that's probably a good enough place. What have I forgotten? Berries. Now we'll probably be able to actually build quite a few of these, but the issue here is going to be, let's draw a road right along there. Perfect. Yeah, the issue here is just going to be the people to do the job. If we get a forager's hut in, if it will allow me to. Oh, it's because it's very steep there, isn't it? Yep. But if we can get 1, that will do. Perfect. Right, I will leave them to do that. As you can see, we already have an ox doing his job. In fact, there's an actual thought. Let's put in another hitching post. So we've got the one that'll be here, which will be pulling things back and forth. I think for the time being, I will put another one in the same place. And we'll just do a little road. I'll probably move these later on. It's just to help speed them up a little bit. And that doesn't take long to build. The question is, will it? What will take longer? An ox to arrive, or for them to build that? We'll see. We'll see. We'll come back to that, I think. So just having a look over in Rayston, we can see that our fields are, wow, they're growing very, very quickly. Just to have a quick look at our lambs. Are they still lambs? They are still lambs. And that one's having a sniff of the lamb's bottom. Lovely. I don't know if lambs and sheep greet each other that way. Obviously dogs do that. So they do look fairly big, to be fair. So it'll be interesting to see if by the end of summer they're full-blown sheep or not. I don't know. In fact, well, let's have a look, because we have the help here, don't we? So let's see. What would it be under? Resources? Possibly. Where's wool? Is this not in alphabetical order? No. Okay, so that just comes from the sheep farm. We get that. Buildings. Sheep farm. Yep, it doesn't really tell us, does it? We got upgrades and various other things. Okay. Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on it, I suppose, and see. I'm assuming it'll be 1 year game time, but I could be wrong. How are we getting on over here? Okay, so we're just waiting for the additional clothing over here to appease these currently. Yes, I'm well aware of the leather. We haven't got a family in here yet, but I think there was a burgage plot here. Yeah, that I'm guessing that will be the next one. How are we doing for flour? We still have a little bit. That is good. We have 54 malt and we still have some barley, so we can leave the buildings doing what they're doing. Nothing too much to worry about over here. How are we doing for food, actually? 8 meat. So they're still managing to actually hunt these. There's only one family in each of these hunting camps at the moment. I don't have any to spare. I think we have a couple of families. Yep, in this one. I would like to get to a point today where we can get that upgrade, but it's all depending on people moving in, and obviously a lot of it is around the approval. Do you know what I would like to see? And I keep mentioning City Skylines just because it comes to mind often. It's a shame you can't do like a negative tax, because we've got plenty of money in the coffers, but if you could do like a negative 5% tax, it would put a little bit more money into the town, probably cheer them up, and it would be a good way of stimulating growth. I don't think personally that would have happened back in the day, but it's just sort of something that keeps popping into my mind. We do have 43 regional wealth, and how much does the cobblers cost? It costs 5, so that would... Is that enough for an orchard yet? No, so we're not a million miles off that. We definitely want that. It will give us another variety of food. I think we just have to be a little bit patient. Okay, Penultima has its first burgage plot built, and what a lovely building it is. It'd be interesting to see if they do add more buildings or a few more varieties in. I'm guessing it'll happen over time, or even if the game becomes moddable, I guess they may add some other bits to it. I think modding of any game these days is kind of like paramount for the game's survival. And just imagine what people could potentially add. They could, you know, could get to a point where there's like an Iron Age potentially, and add different kind of eras. That's when I think about these games, that's one thing that I always feel that is missing. And if I was brainy enough to be able to make a game and wouldn't die before it actually got released, because the development process takes so long. I think this one's 7 years in the making, for example. Is you start off kind of at this sort of time, or it's kind of like Banished as well, I suppose, you know, similar sort of eras, and you get to a point where you can progress, you unlock knowledge, and get to a point, maybe like maybe 2 modern times. I don't know if we'd want to go that far, or maybe even into the future, and you can just constantly develop. And some technologies obviously become obsolete, so you'd have to replace them, and I think that would be absolutely fantastic. But the fact it's not happened, it's either that nobody's had the idea yet, which I think is unlikely, or just the fact it would probably take so long, because I guess even though you've got the foundations of the game, every time you add another era, potentially it's like making almost a whole new game. But that would be something that I'd love to see in the long run. The berries are doing quite nicely. Do we have the other hitching post? We do. So we will order another ox. We're going to need it anyway, but it will speed up the building quite nicely. I am thinking... I know I've chucked quite a few things on highest, but we sort of... We need the storage and we need the food before it disappears. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but not too much. We have lots and lots of fields. Look at that. We have a ghost horse here. Completely vanished now. Now we've completely looked at it. In fact, he should probably be pulling something as well. Let me zoom out. Yeah, I can't see his cart, but I can see his flickering horse. But those fields are growing nicely. Yeah, they definitely did plant all the fields. I think they did a bloody good job considering, to be fair. Oh, an enemy unit has been spotted. Well, I would like to think, fingers crossed, that is bandits. Who have we got here? Oh, they're outside the area, so I don't think I can see. But there is definitely at least 3-4 squads. Oh, there we go. It is bandits. Of course it is. It's like every video so far. We're going to have to deal with this. What region are we in here? Bloodfell. Oh, Iron Vale. Eesh. Now, pretty much from my memory, one retinue will probably do a good enough bit of damage on these, and the retinue are going to spawn here. So that will happen pretty quickly. So let's deal with this. We do have our mercenaries, but I don't particularly want to use them. Now, my only concern is, if I try to draw these guys on, they'll start burning down the town. So, unfortunately for the retinue in the Iron Vale, they're going to be fighting straight away. Now, I'd wished that I'd built the wall around here. What do we have next door to us here? We've got Eel Jamjar, Bloodfell, and the Black Forest. So we can get their retinue across pretty quickly, I would say. So let's have a go at that. What we got here? Race down there a bit too far. Eel Jamjar, we can. There we go. Bloodfell, we can as well. Do we have... Oh, we have archers. Now that would be beautiful. I'll ask you guys to go over there. Mamusio, Mamusio, Mamusio. I could take some archers from the Black Forest. We'll bring them in the same sort of position. Spear Militia. Again, I could, but I think we'd probably be fine just with the retinue. The bandits are not exactly the biggest problem ever. They would have slight high ground there, so I might ask these guys. We'll leave you on balanced, and we'll double you up over here. We'll turn run off because we don't want you tired. And they sort of all come in this direction anyway, so let's say about here. You guys are ready? They are coming very quickly, so we do have archers, which is pretty useful. Why are you an archer? I guess you were already over here. So their range is pretty far. It's hard to see the kind of the grey circle, but it is there. I'm going to ask these chaps to form a nice line just there. I just have to be careful, realistically, about... Oh, these archers are running around the other way. Yeah, I just have to be careful about these guys coming round the back. So I'll just keep my archers a little bit further back. We can see... Yeah, this is a good distance for these guys to come from. So this retinue sort of by themselves. So my archers particularly are going to have to be careful. I'll have these guys on stand your ground because they're going to get hurt, let's be honest. We can already see these guys coming round the back. Where did my archers go? What on earth are you guys doing? Okay, let's line you up here then. Hopefully that happens. And not much else I can do. We didn't have any other squads in this area, did we? Just let me double check. So Raystone, we've got Black Forest, Mamusio, Mamusio, Mamusio. Well, that, I guess lesson probably for the future there would be don't have all your main oh, I forgot what they're called. What do you call them? Militia. There we go. You don't have all your militia in your initial starting zone, because should something like this happen, you want to be able to at least call upon a few squads per region, I guess. But for the time being, drop me down on the road. Let's rip their heads off. Exactly. Where in... Oh, that is a real... Is this the... Oh, I know where we are. Let's run. Sorry, lady. Let's come and take a look. There's not much we could do here, so if it all goes pear-shaped... Oh, here they come. So the first squad I think we'll take these guys down. Hopefully the other guys just stand and... Oh, wow. Okay, let me get a better view of this. Pause the game a second. I want to see what's actually going on. Let's move that menu as well. Right. So they're going to go for my archers. I'm pretty sure. Excuse my squeaky chair. It looks like, even though you can see they're taking a bit of a kicking. So we have 24. That's the right number. These ones, they've lost 2 already. But it looks like the other 2, they're... are also fighting. We are taking the fight to them pretty well. My archers I'm concerned about. There's not much I can do. I can get them to run away. Right, so there we go. So we've lost 1 so far. They've lost a whole squad plus a couple of their other 2. Let me have a see. Which has got the closest? We've got a retinue coming from that way. I'm assuming these guys won't burn down the buildings if they're chasing someone. So I might ask my archers. And these guys are running, so we can have run as well. They're not necessarily going to get away. But if I run them towards... is there anything I can do here? Give ground. Slowly pushes the formation line backwards, lowering the enemy to follow. I mean, I could disband them completely. But what would happen with these guys? That's an interesting thought. Let's try that. I may regret this. They are from the Iron Vale. So they are from this area. If I disband, what will these guys do? Now, oh, well, look at that. That is hilarious. Okay. And they're all still nearby. So let's wait for these guys to... We've lost, what, 5 of our troops so far? Let's give it a moment. And we will re-rally the archers. Once they get a little bit closer. Let's see what happens here. I mean, to be fair, I can ask all these guys to go back to what they were doing. I knew the retinue themselves would be strong enough. But you know when you just want to be sure. You guys can go back. Did I only take 1 set of people from that side? That's interesting. Actually, the archers were a little bit further away than I thought they'd be. Yeah, shoot at will. We are slowly but surely losing more of our retinue here. What do we have? Give ground, push forward. We should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. I don't even think we need the archers. By the time they sort themselves out, the fight will be over. Let's disband these guys. I could have swore I asked to get my retinue from there, but maybe I didn't. And here's another question, because this is the manor. If I go to... Oh, we're fighting. So I was going to say, could I not just keep recruiting more, but it won't let me currently. So let's just see the sort of ending of this battle. All my troops are red. Ah, there we go. They're off. And great success. I knew that would happen anyway. So these guys we can disband. We just need to make sure. We did have a pit somewhere. There we go. So we shall fill that up and get rid of those corpses. And we already have someone in the church, but we'll put 2 in there. That is great. Well, that went really well. That's not something I was planning on doing today, but... So they are all going to go back. All the corpses. I like how they instantly take off all their armor when you unrecruit them. You think they'd still wear it and unequip once they go back inside. So just with that sort of thought, if I come in here now, so I can recruit some more. And it's still cheap. And we have the armor over here, so it is even cheaper. Not that I kind of want to think of these guys as disposable, but they literally just took out 4 squads by themselves. That is impressive. Realistically, isn't it? When you think about it, that is really, really impressive. And that's just sort of made me think more about that final battle and how I'm going to sort of go about that. I have my thoughts, I have a plan. I'm not going to mention it until the final video, because if I do, you guys could be like, no, don't do that, that's silly, it's not going to work. And at least this way, I can do it, and if it works, I can be like, see, I'm not as stupid as I look or sound. And if it goes wrong, well, you can all just be like, well, you're a half-wit, we knew it'd go down that way. Just looking at Raystone, we've still not had any more families sort of move in yet. What are we looking at food-wise? Variety has gone up, clothing is still the issue, and I'm guessing that is what's annoying these people still. And this is my cobblers, but because nobody's here, and I can't even upgrade because there's nobody in it. So this is going to take a little bit longer than I thought, which is a tad annoying, but obviously we're waiting for the 50 wealth to get apples in, which isn't a type of clothing, unfortunately, but yes, it's a step in the right direction anyway. Every time I zoom in, it goes in at rocket speed, and I don't know why. How are we getting on here? We're just waiting for some timber. Let's have a look. Penultimate. Switch. We have quite a bit of timber, to be fair. So a couple of people that are annoyed that they're still homeless, which is understandable. Did I build a road down the side here? I thought I did. There is, I think there is one there. It's just hard to see it because of the trees. I would like that on the high. So let's lower these down a little bit. I know I was talking earlier about the unhappiness, but let's just drop them a tiny bit. Because I want to get these things sort of working. See, we got, because of the rain, it's not making things any better. I'll just speed up the game a touch just so we can get the granary in place. And at least we can store our food. Okay, there we go. I can chuck a family in there, so they should start dealing with that in due course. We have our hitching post, which we've done. We'll stick the well on highest as well. It doesn't take long. How are we doing over here? We have the storehouse, that needs to also be highest. It doesn't take long either. And now we have our forester's hut, which means I can put another family in, which means we can start building up our food. Obviously, food's at 3 months, so this is really important that we get these berries. There is obviously animals, but when we were talking about it earlier, if I can get my words out, we just realised that this land is not very arable at all. I think that's the correct word. We do have some little places where we could potentially get some fields, and like I said, when you look at rye, it does open it up a tiny bit, and it might be worthwhile investing the points in that. Now, this is where we're currently having our forest, but we could plant the forest in this sort of area here and over here because it's quite steep, and then we could have some farm fields in these areas. Should we go down that route for points? It may make sense. I know we can trade, but I'm enjoying, as it stands, kind of running these sort of little regions by themselves. We have our well, that is good. Granary has someone in there, perfect. So the only sort of thing we're waiting for here now is the storehouse, which is on highest. We'll drop the logging camp to high, which then means the last 2 burgage plots will get done. That is perfect. And if we scoot on over to Raystone, here we are. We've still not had another family move in, which is really frustrating. And if it, like I say, it is working the way I think it is, this will be the next house, which sort of isn't what I need. It's all about the clothing, which is, we've got 2 options really: waiting for a family to move in here, or waiting for these lambs to become sheep. I mean, I could have just bought a sheep, I suppose, but there is that. Anyway, I think that is a great place to end this one. We've had a few things happen. We've obviously settled another region. We've developed Raystone a little bit more. We've fought off some bandits, but we are not a million miles away from what I guess you could call the final episode. There's not much more left to do other than get our retinue and then start sticking the fight to that Baron for the last time. And in fact, before I call this episode, there we go. We can finally get our orchard in. Perfect. What a way to cap this one off. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.